First play I'm looking at tonight is coming from the Cleveland versus Golden State game, which should be a very good game. The game is in Golden State, and the player I'm looking at is Donovan Mitchell. I'm looking at his 28.5 points. Let's look at him over here on Action Labs. Let's see what Action Labs got him at. For points, they got him at a projection of 25.4. The line, most books, is 27.5, so it's a point more over here on DraftKings at 28.5. You see at 27.5, he's pretty heavy favorite, 140, 120, 122, 122. And I still like this line at 28.5. And maybe even look at his points, rebounds, assists of 36.5 over on Prizepicks, and you can see the books got it the same number, 36.5, minus 105, minus 117, minus 117. So I'm looking at both of those numbers. So let's go over here to props.cash. It's the best tool in the business. The link is down below. But hey, this tool right here can help you precisely come up with some picks and which way to go on it. Let's look at his 28.5 points. He's went over that every game this year on the road. I'm looking at on the road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games on the road. He's went over 28.5 points. That's if Garland is playing. That's if Garland is not playing. Garland is playing tonight. They are playing a bad team defensively at this point in the season. Yes, the Golden State Warriors are not playing good defense at this point of the season. All this over here is green. This is in favor of Donovan. Now, against Golden State, we have to look at and we'll look at all games against Golden State. This is going to go back to last year. As you can see, he has not done too well. This is when he was with Utah. All these numbers right here. 1 day's rest. 3 times this season, he's achieved 28.5. His last 10 games, 8 out of 10, he's went over 28.5 points. And we'll look at his points, rebounds, assists also. 70% of the time in his last 10 games, he's went over that 7 out of 10 games. And we'll look at versus Golden State. He has not reached the 36.5 in 3 games dating back to last year. So his points again. Now let's look at this stat. This stat right here kind of shocked me. But Donovan Mitchell has only scored 30 points against the Golden State Warriors 1 time. And that was in 2019. And he also had 28 in 2019. So 2017 to 2022, he only exceeded the prop of 28.5 points 1 time. Quite a few games that he hasn't even come close. I contributed to chasing Steph Curry and Klay Thompson around. Klay not running too fast these days, but he's still gonna have to chase Poole and probably Steph Curry in some situations. So even though props.cash is leaning me toward the over, I'm going to go with the under of 28.5 points tonight for Donovan Mitchell against the Golden State Warriors. The next play I'm looking at is coming from the Sacramento Kings versus the LA Lakers. And we're looking at Domantas Sabonis, looking at his points of 17.5. Let's look at him over here on Action Labs and see where Action Labs has him at tonight. For points, they got him at 18.6 points. The line at most of the books is 17.5 also. You can see he's minus 125 on some to go over. heavier favorite to go over than under at most of the books I'm looking at here. Some of the books got him at 18.5. I like seeing the books have him at that. And it helps me make my decision when I see a line like this. Let's go over here to Action Labs. Let's go over here to props.cash. And let's look at his points. Last 10 games. 4 out of 5 games this season, he's won over 17.5 points. Versus the Lakers, this is probably from last year. Last year he went over one time. Let's look at last 30. Let's look at all games. And by the way, the last 10 games here was away games. Let's look at all home games. Let's look at all games, I'm sorry. And they are on the road tonight. Even against all games, there's 6 out of 10 this season. So that's a 60% hit rate. This number seems just a little low to me. I'm really not too confident in him going under on this. Lakers aren't as good defensively. Points allowed, they're one of the worst. They're pretty neutral on everything. 3-point percentage allowed, they're decent, but Sabonis doesn't shoot many threes. Anthony Davis is not as great down there as people give him credit for. Sabonis should eat tonight, and I think he gets over 17.5 points. So I'm going with Sabonis to go over the prop of 17.5 points for tonight. Third play I'm looking at tonight is Anthony Edwards, Minnesota versus Memphis. We can look at his points. We can also look at his assists. We can look at his rebounds individually. But the stat I'm looking at is the 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Most of the books got us at a prop of 31.5. So we're getting a bit of a discount here on Prizepicks. I like that. Action Labs got him at a projection of 32.5. Let's go over here at props.cash and look at this a bit more. Let's push this down to 30.5. He's hit that 40% of the time in his last 10 games. And let's see where this game is at. This game is in... No, it's nationally televised, and the game is in Memphis. So it's away. Let's look at his away status. Away, he's hit that 60% of the time in the last 10 games, but only one time this season in 3 away games, only against OKC, at Sacramento, at Phoenix. In his most recent games, he hasn't hit that. Let's look at 1 day's rest away. 48% of the time going back to last season. Again, one time this year. And let's look at versus Memphis. At Memphis, he's done it 3 times, and these are all games from last year and not in the 2 most recent games against Memphis. And let's look at all. Last 10. Again, he's done it in 30% of the games. Again, we are getting 30.5 over here on Prizepicks. And I'm going to go with the over on this one. It's not like he's been playing too great lately. Let's look at his points. His points prop is 22.5. And you can see just in the last 3 games, he's declined 19, 16, 11. I expect that to increase tonight. He's looking at his stats also. Everybody's looking at his stats, especially him. I expect that to increase. Memphis give up a lot of points, of course. They play fast. 3-point allowed, they're not too good. Free throw attempts allowed, they're not that great either. I expect their center, Karl Anthony Towns, to get involved in the game in all type of ways. That includes an assist. And I'm going to go with the points, rebounds, and assists for Anthony Edwards. I like him to go over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists against Memphis tonight in a nationally televised game on the road. I'm going with the over of 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So those are 3 plays I like for today. Go ahead and like, subscribe. Go ahead and let me know in the comments what you're going with if you're using any of my picks. Remember to check out props.cash. It's the best tool in the business. It's only like $19 a month. You get a discount if you use my code that's down in the description, WiseGuyBets. But that is all I have for today. Until the next video, peace.